This year has been a particularly eventful one for markets, which does include a record level of demand. The New York Stock Exchange's purpose-built trading technology is not only ready for this high-level activity, it can thrive in it as well. Joining me now with more is Sridhar Masam, the New York Stock Exchange's Chief Technology Officer. He leads the vision, strategy, transformation, execution, and he is responsible for the trading platforms here at the NYSE. Sridhar, welcome.
Good morning. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And I think a good time for this conversation because we have seen some volatility of late in this market amid the government shutdown. Now it's reopened. Of course, questions about AI as well, which we'll talk about in just a moment. How is the NYSE's technology built for these moments?
Yeah, I mean, NYSE is a historic building and that's a very visible part of a business. But equally important is the technological infrastructure powering these markets behind the scenes. As we say, it's powering the engines of the capital market. Pillar is our homegrown technology platform built on the foundations of distributed, scalable, low latency, high deterministic platform. And we actually provision all of our markets with the 2 to 3 times headroom for the historical peaks we have seen so that we can handle these kind of market events.
What are some of the historical peaks that you have seen this year?
I think the historical peaks we have seen are like April 7th, where we have handled our 1.1 trillion messages across all of our exchange, as well as the processors, CTA, and Opera.
1.1 trillion messages, very important indeed. Of course, that was amid some of the trade volatility that we saw around tariffs. In terms of the path forward, artificial intelligence is another topic very much in focus these days. Questions about the valuation, but no doubt every company seems to be making investments in it in order to compete. What more can you share about what you're seeing in AI?
Yeah, I mean, in AI, typically at ICE, we are leveraging AI in a way like it's a three-pronged approach. One is we're leveraging out-of-the-box tools like the co-pilots of the world. We are building leveraging open source and commercial models into our applications, and we're leveraging third-party data platforms where the AI tools are provided to them. On a high level, our AI use cases can be categorized into predictive as well as generative AI. Predictive AI is AI as we know it before ChatGPT. We are excited to introduce an AI-powered order type into your markets pending regulatory approval to help improve the execution prices for our market participants. On the generative AI side, we have numerous use cases around document intelligence, extracting information, classifying documents, document workflow, natural language search, leverage large language models like text to SQL is the other one. Summarization and sentiment analysis, the other use case we have seen. And the biggest impact we have seen is in a software development lifecycle. Essentially, the co-pilots have significantly transformed the way we do software development.
Is there a way to quantify, or even that you're just thinking about from a data metric in terms of how much more powerful AI can make the systems?
Yeah, I think we see anywhere from 20 to 30% at this time, just given the maturity of the tools. We have people who have the biggest challenge we have is like the adaptability of this as people learn these tools and adopt, and we are seeing that significant uptick in terms of what we can generate or output in terms of coding, testing, documentations. I would say probably 20 to 30% is what we have seen for the teams who have adopted AI tools.
You mentioned predictive and generative AI. I want to sort of lean into this prediction vertical right now, if we will, and talk about the prediction market, Poly Market, of course, ICE, earlier this quarter announcing a up to $2 billion investment, strategic partnership that is with Poly Market. What is the role that the NYSE's technology plays in that?
Yeah, so Poly Market is a leading prediction marketplace, especially for non-sports events, geopolitical weather events. And what we have witnessed over the last few years, the coordinated retail with the GameStop, and there's enough sentiment, there's enough indicators in these markets that will help our capital markets participants with some of their risk decisions, right? In two things. One is our FIDS team is working with Poly Markets team to integrate this events data into our current data products to make the same format and same place where they pick up these data sets to our capital markets participants. The second, from a technology perspective, NYSE, we have been working with Poly Markets team. It's mutual, like we're learning their decentralized architecture. At the same time, we are sharing the expertise in our capital markets, our pillar, operational excellence, and architecture in terms of low latency and determinism.
And in terms of how that's going to be used, I know we've seen Polymarket here at the New York Stock Exchange a few times since that deal was announced to, of course, talk about its own growth in that particular space. I think many people know, right, Intercontinental Exchange as having traditional infrastructure. Is there a way that this could evolve the infrastructure over time, perhaps even based on some of the regulation that we might see coming out of DC?
Absolutely, we see that. I mean, for us, if you really think about, these are all more like an event, or like a products, for like it could be our futures market, anything, any event, right? So one of the things is the data sets coming from these events is significantly market impacting. So like the data, the sentiment on these platforms will have tangible value for our market participants.
All right, Sridhar Massam, the New York Stock Exchange's Chief Technology Officer, joining us on what's been a very busy week. Sridhar, thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you for having me.
Great to see you.